everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Speak Out Loud, the story behind the brand. My name is Lynette Jackson, and I am so excited to have you join us for this beautiful, awesome podcast that has been blessing so many people and helping so many people. And today is going to be the same. As you guys know, we've been finishing up the month with financial literacy. And we have had some powerful guests on helping us get our money together, get our finances in order. So I'll do a quick recap for you. So the first week we had Miss Janelle Youngblood of Janelle Youngblood and Associates. She's a CPA. She works in the nonprofit space. She works with churches and ministries. She's my church lady girl. You know, she and I are going to hold the churches down. We're going to make them accountable as well. And then we had the second week, wow, the money mender. Whew. This girl had us laughing our tails off last week before last, the second week, talking about she microwaving check. She was an OG of all of the games. But this sister was $30,000 in debt with 19 credit cards in college. And she got herself out with a plan with her Lotus 123 spreadsheet. And some of you probably don't even like, Lynette, what is Lotus 123? Exactly. That's how long it's been. She's been in business 34 years, delivering people in their finances. And then last week we had Mr. Robert Brickey. That's going to be a two-part series simply because he was so good. We just had to keep going. And Mr. Brickey is a wealth advisor, and he was helping us get ourselves together for the big retirement, the big R word, right? Get ready for retirement. And he talked about last week, a lot about getting yourself together and doing an inventory. And a lot of times, you know, we think that a GoFundMe is a policy for ourselves and how it is really not fair to leave, when you leave this earth, that you leave bills and debt to your family. And tonight, we are going to hit a home run and finish up Financial Literacy Month with, oh my God, my beautiful guest, Alexis Sidney. And you know what? I didn't know some things about her, and I'm going to talk to her about them. But tonight, IRS tax laws. Let's talk about it. We know we just finished the IRS season, right? But there's no reason why we cannot put ourselves in great position to ensure that we are learning and doing everything we can for the next season. So sit back, relax, get your pen and pencil and paper. Get ready to take some notes because my guest is going to help us keep us out of, IRS jail. If you're ready, let's go.
You're watching Speak Out Loud, the story behind the brand.
About that. See how modest she is, y'all? But let's go. So roasted crickets, I'm like, not eating that.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Every day showing up, even when you don't feel like it.
And now your host, Lynette Jackson.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to Speak Out Loud, the story behind the brand. My name is Lynette Jackson, and I am your host. For those who know me, and maybe for some who don't, I will introduce myself. I am Lynette Jackson. I'm the owner of Roar Media Group. I'm an author, a speaker. Roar also helps its clients speak out loud in the marketplace with websites, graphics, videos, strategic plans, voiceovers. We do it for the small business person. We help small businesses. We help nonprofits. We work a lot in the church space, and we help out our pastors and our leaders. And this podcast was birthed out of the fact that we wanted to help you speak out loud, businesses, entrepreneurs, ministry leaders. We wanted to hear the story behind what God has placed on your heart and what you've been doing, because there are so many people like my guests. Oh my God, I didn't even know some of these things, but we're going to talk about it. That's been doing this thing for a long time. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I like to introduce to some. One of my guests told me that was a good old church introduction, but I want to introduce to some and present to others my guest, Miss Alexis Sidney. Hello, Alexis.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I am well. I'm doing good. I'm relaxed. I just finished up tax season, so
Woo,
I'm good. I made it
yes.
through.
You made it through tax season. And yes, oh my God. And you know what? I always feel the pressure at tax season, but I can't imagine those who work in the tax field, what type of pressure they feel during tax season, right? Is it a lot?
Right. It's a lot. It's deadlines. It's trying to meet the IRS. What they have going on, whatever tax law changes or new implementations they have. It's just been a crazy past few years due to COVID and all of the different things that's transpired as it relates to taxes. So the date changes. It's just been a lot. So yes.
Yes. So I am super excited to have you. And I'm just so thankful that you were able to, you are out of town. And that even the fact that you're out of town, that you would bless our audience and pop on and grace us with some knowledge and understanding, concluding Financial Literacy Month. And I am so excited about that. So you and I hang out in this crazy club, right? On Clubhouse. Why are we up at 7 o'clock, Alexis? 7 o'clock in the morning with a bunch of people that we've never touched before, we've never seen, I've known you for a year and we've never physically met, but I know you. Because we hang out at 7 o'clock in the morning. So, if for anybody that gets up and meets a bunch of strangers at 7 o'clock in the morning, something must be going on. So, we hang out in this crazy club called Bootstrapping Ministry and Business at 7 a.m. And we have the same business coach, Mr. Glenn P. Brooks Jr., the pastor of business. I deemed him the pastor of business. So,
That's a good one. I like
anytime we go up on his stage, we have to do the 4 clarity questions. And so, I have just like, if it's not broke, I'm not going to fix it. So I have just asked everyone that comes on the show to give us the 4 clarity questions. Who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it? And who do you do it for?
Well, I'll go ahead and kick it off. Who am I? I am Alexis Sidney. I am founder and CEO of the 12 firm. It's a tax and consultant firm, and we specialize in working with small business owners to prevent IRS headaches and give them a peace of mind. Who do I do it for? I do it for small business owners who have a dream of really taking their business to the next level. Some of those may have 9 to 5 jobs and they want to transfer into full-time entrepreneurship, or those who may have a 9 to 5 job and are okay with having their business ran on the side, but just really giving them the structure, the financial guidance, and everything that they need to be intentional about scaling and making the best decisions so that they can support their families and they can live the life that they choose to. Or for the full-time entrepreneurs, just give them that freedom, that clarity, and give them more work-life balance. So why do I do it? Again, because I'm passionate about accounting. I'm passionate about taxes, and I just really want to educate people and share my knowledge and my years of experience so that I went through a lot. I didn't have a lot of coaches and things when I first started. I've been in the industry for over 18 years now. And I kick myself now like, gosh, I wish I would have had someone years ago. Like how far would have been? I bootstrapped my way from the beginning. I was my own teacher. And I just want to use my experience and my story to really be able to circumvent, the lessons learned, the hard ones, so that you can just run with full intention for those business owners who are out there and they're wanting to scale with their business.
Well,
So
I love that. I love that. I love that because you said you wish you had someone that have taught you you would have not made probably some of the mistakes. What's a big lesson learned that you've done? What mistakes have you made, and what lessons have you learned that
Well,
you wish
definitely.
you hadn't? Because I got a few myself, girl.
Oh, yeah, I got a whole lot. But one of the things that I wish I would have done was got a coach. I always was that person like, oh, I'll figure it out on my own. I'm not spending no money. I don't need that. I just spend my money and do other things. And it's an investment to really be in community with people who has done what you're doing, that can help support your growth and just steer you in the right direction. And it took a long time to get there. To be transparent, really started working with coaches over the past 5 years, and I can see the growth in what I'm doing and the things I'm able to achieve. And it's not so much, I just felt like, oh, I know it. I can go get a book, or I can Google it, or go take a class, and I got it. But there's more so the accountability factor that the
Yes.
coaches bring, and just really helping you to scale up and just keep you on track, and community and just different things that a lot of coaches bring. So that was one of my lessons learned. The other ones, I would just definitely say structuring my business in the right way where it doesn't feel like it's becoming a burden. And that's
Mm.
a lot of time to figure out. I At one point in my time, I started my business out of college. I was full-time entrepreneur, no other job. And then I
Wow.
transitioned, yeah, and I went and worked for the federal government for 12 years. And I recently left a year ago. I quit. I said I'm going back to full-time entrepreneurship, and I'm doing me. But during that time, I was working that 9 to 5, and then trying to juggle my job, my business on the side, and being a mom, a wife, all of those added responsibilities that come with it. And it was a lot. And I felt like I was working like 80 hours at my business because I wanted it to work. I wanted it to go so I can leave the other job. And, even when I left, it was a mindset shift that had to
Mm.
be broken down. It was really hard because I just thought that, oh, now I'm a boss. Nobody tells me what to do. I don't have to make sure the light is clicked on my computer.
Exactly.
I just thought like, oh, it's just gonna be this grand party. I can do what I want to do now. And it was the complete opposite. I found myself
Yes.
working harder and harder and harder because I
Yes.
didn't have nothing else to like go back to. And that was a lesson learned. But through that, I learned working with coaches that if you have the right structures, the right systems in place, the right support, and you shouldn't have to work as hard. And it took
Correct.
a while to figure all of that out, but I won't say I'm 100% there, but I'm close to it. I'm like 85.
I
But yeah.
completely understand. And, I started in 2017. This was a side hustle for me. I just love graphics and I could do it. And I was a senior executive assistant for over 25 years. And I've always worked in media. So I worked for Turner Broadcasting, I worked for the Weather Channel, I worked for Cox Media Group, and I worked in for World Changers Church International. So I was in media all the time. So I did the church stuff, I did the corporate stuff, and so this was kind of like a side hustle for me. And then I turned 55 and I got laid off. And I'm thinking, what am I gonna do now? Like, and so believe it or not, I tried to go find jobs, couldn't find jobs. No one was hiring me, and no one wanted to hire me at the grade that I was at.
Right.
And then I'm like, what am I gonna do? And then I just felt the Lord download on me and say, look at your hands. I'm like, yeah, they're just getting a little older, but what are you saying? And he was saying, I gave gifts to you. I put gifts in your hands, and you think that that was just like a little side hustle and a little bit of a fun thing for you. No, I have been preparing you all this time to work in these companies, but I've been preparing you for what I had for you, and that is to start this company. But I tell you what, I work long hours. There's no way in the world I would work 13, 14 hours at a corporate job. I wouldn't do it. I'd be like, I gotta go. But now sometimes I have to tear myself away from the desk. And so I think that misconception of, oh, well, I'm a boss. No, I bring home the bacon, frying up in a pan, and never let you forget yourself a woman because I don't have a man. Whoa, what did I just do? What did I just do? So here's the fun thing. I didn't know about the 12 firm. It's all women.
Yes.
I love that. So I went to your website and it was like the 12 firm providing you peace of mind. I was like, what? Certified women owned full service accounting firm. And I did not know you were in Fayetteville, girlie.
Yes.
I
Yes.
didn't know that. I'm in Norcross.
Wow. I'm
So
always
we
up that way.
definitely, are you really?
Yeah.
So you please let me know when you're going to be in the Norcross area so I can grab you out, hug you, and then take you out and get you a bite to eat, get you a burger or french fries or something. Let me just bless a sister because but I'm just really you guys go out to her website. First of all, I have her website here. I'm going to bring it up. I want you to go to the I want y'all to go to the 12firm.com and go to who we are. And you're going to see four gorgeous women out here that are making things happen. So let's talk about why the name the 12 firm and why women, Alexa.
Well, so the 12 firm, the name. So
I love it.
I started, well, it's really symbolic. It has a number of different meanings, but the one that's more profound that stands up is that I made a choice to leave full-time work, and I left the government after being in my position there after 12 years. And
Wow.
so that was the number one thing. I was trying to figure out a name because, again, my company was something else. And when I made that move, it was something more deeper than just, leaving a job and just trying to figure something out. And I went through a lot with that experience. And I talk about that, around the communities and circles about that experience working with the government. And it wasn't always pretty. And I knew that I needed to do something for myself and for my kids and for my family, but more so for people, because I know there's people out there that need my service. And the 12 just has something symbolic about it when you pull in religion. I'm a believer of Jesus Christ, and he had
Amen.
and I was like,
Oh
yes,
my God.
there's something else. And then,
Girl.
we're big Tom Brady fans when he was in. And I was like,
Wait.
he wears the number 12.
You
So
got
no.
all the things going on, all the symbolisms and things going on. The disciples, Tom Brady, 12 years. Okay, come on.
And
I
then my
love it though. I
birthday
love it.
is in December.
Oh,
So that's
come
the
on,
12th.
girl.
So I just was like, okay, it's gonna be the 12 firm. And then, I put that together because I ran it by my husband. He was like, that ain't it. That ain't it. That ain't it. And then when I said the 12 firm, he said, I like it. And I
I
said,
do.
okay, well, what does this 12 firm mean? But yeah, that's the story behind the 12 firm. And we are a woman-owned small business. We are certified as a woman-owned small business. And it was important to me to really highlight women. A lot of times it's like, oh, everything is for women, everything is for women. But I just feel like we don't get enough of what we need. And I just wanted to be whatever beacon of light I can be in my accounting firm or whoever I touch, and just be the one that can help women navigate through, who can help them to find what it is that they need so that they can support their families, so that they can, have the things that their heart desires or what God says, yes, this is for you. So I just felt like it was just really important for me to cater towards
Yeah.
that within my business.
Wow. Like all the things, girl. All the things. And so listen, I did not. Listen, I didn't go through all of that when I came up with Roar. I was trying to figure it out, but I really wanted to. I was sharing it with my son who does graphics and things for the company. And I was sharing with him, I said, I just want my clients to be seen and to be known. And
Mhm.
he said, so you want them to speak out loud? And I was like, ooh,
Oh,
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I want them to speak really loud. Like when their graphics come on, I just I just want it to be in your face. I wanted it to be loud. He says, like a lion roaring. And he said, well, Roar Media Group. And I was like, done, done. So it wasn't, but I like that. I never thought about thinking about, that I was like, I wonder what the 12 firm means. So let's talk about your background, your upbringing. Where did you go to school?
So yeah, I grew up in New Haven, Connecticut, and I
Okay,
lived
wait,
here.
wait, 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 wait. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. Okay. Um, Dixwell Avenue, maybe
Yes, the
around the Dix.
Popeyes, or the Whaley and Dixwell.
What Dixwell? Okay, 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 okay. I lived in New Haven.
Are you serious?
Yes. And I wonder if my friend Annette is out here. We both lived in New Haven. And so my son was born at Yale New Haven Hospital.
Oh wow.
So believe it or not, he's a big Falcons fan. And I had this conversation with him not long ago. I was like, you really was born in New England. You were never, ever a Patriots fan at all. You came to Atlanta and became immediately a Falcons fan, and he is diehard Falcons. But girl, okay, so I used to go to a church on, I think it's Dixwell Avenue. I think it's Dixwell Avenue now, the House of Prayer.
Okay. I went.
Hey, that's an old school, right? But man, I lived in New Haven. I had my son when I was 21, 20, no, 20 years old. I had my son. I had him early. And I lived up in New Haven, Connecticut. And it was cold up there, baby girl.
Oh
It was
yeah.
cold up there.
Yeah, it's not like Georgia when they say, "Oh, it's snowing." It's like, what?
Wow. New Haven. I did not know that. And now we're both here in Georgia. Okay, so
Yeah,
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. So I grew up there, and I decided that I had to get to Atlanta. So
Wow.
when it was time for college, I came to Atlanta, and I attended Clark Atlanta University. And
Mhm.
so that's how I got to Atlanta, and I decided not to leave. I really enjoyed Atlanta, although it's different now. It's not the old Atlanta.
Yes.
But I still like the diversity and I like the opportunities. And I was just always fascinated because, as you know, in Connecticut, not that there aren't, many people of color, because they are. It's just really segregated. The
Yes.
blacks live here, the Hispanics live here, the Jews live in this area, and it's very segregated. And not to say that Georgia isn't the same way, but it was something really refreshing for me when I went to a historically black college and I was able to see so many of us doing phenomenal things, educating
Very
ourselves.
good
It was just
things.
a different culture for me. And I embraced it so much. I loved it so much that I was like, I don't want to leave Atlanta. I like it.
Wow.
So I stayed and that's what I did. And years after school, I went back to school because I love school. I think if I could afford to continue to pay tuition, I would probably still be in school working on something. I don't know. But yeah, so I did that and I went back to school and I worked on getting my master's and then got another master's. And I even thought about a law degree at one point, and I was like, wait a minute now. But then that
Wow.
transitioned into me getting into federal government after I graduated school. And that's how I got exposed to the federal government. And I was able to work with them as a contractor for a while and then got brought on as a full time employee. And then fast forward, I'm here now. So,
Wow. So, I think sometimes our careers pick us. Sometimes we think we pick them, but I think sometimes they pick us because I never knew that I was an early mom, a teen mom. Actually, I got pregnant at 19, had my son at 20, and I didn't go to college. And so I, was living in New Haven and came back home and came back to actually because I'm from Philadelphia, came
Okay.
back to Philadelphia and was trying to figure out life with my 3-year-old son and decided that, I'm going to move to Maryland. And I moved to Maryland, started working for the Marriott Corporation, went out in operations, kind of thought I was going to go in this hospitality industry, went through all of that process. But then I met a man, got married. He was from Atlanta. He went to Howard and he was in Howard. He stayed in the DC area since he graduated from Howard. So he went to architectural school there and he stayed there. And he got laid off from the Marriott Corporation. I met him there. And he said, you know what? I'm going to move back to Atlanta. But we would visit Atlanta. So I understand what you feel and how you feel about Atlanta. Because we would visit Atlanta twice a year at Christmas time and then in the summer. And I'd say, I really love Atlanta. I really, really want to come to Atlanta. So we moved to Atlanta in, I think it was like the 90s. So Atlanta was definitely different. Fulton County Stadium was still there. I remember when they blew that up and built up the TED and then I did not know that I was going to work for one of the biggest ministries in the Atlanta area, which was Creflo Dollar Ministries. I started the marketing department there, worked over 10 years with them, and then went to work for Turner Broadcasting. And then my TV career just kind of took off in that area. But it's so interesting. I think our career sometimes will pick us. We kind of think we're wanting to do this, but it'll say, And I think it's just for our future. Like, so I didn't have no clue that all the jobs that I was doing in corporate America would land me in my entrepreneur, my business. That I would literally be starting a business in that, much like what you're doing, that it sets you up for your business. And that's kind of exciting, it's like real exciting. So we have some folks out here want to say hello to you, Marsha. My girl Marsha Tate is out here. She be holding us down every week. Marsha,
Right.
I love you. She said the
Marsha.
reality is crushing, but also very motivating. Yes. And our coach, our lovely coach, Glenn P. Brooks Jr. said, let's go with lots of hearts. Uh, Marsha says, I love teen moms. Yeah, I was a teen mom. And my son now is 41 years old.
Wow.
Boris Banda, how are you, my son, my friend? How are you doing? But my son is 41 now, still working for Turner Broadcasting as right
Wow.
now, and he's been there several years, but didn't know that he was going to pick me, and I'm like, okay, so this is what I'm doing. I love it. I love it with all my heart. I love doing what I'm doing, and so I want to talk about taxes because we just came out of tax season, and as you just said, I think you told me you're now in Florida right now, right? Which I said I'm
Yes.
so excited. Are you on vacation?
Yes. I
Oh, girl, tax season was just over the 18th, and it's what, the 26th, and you on the beach?
You know what? It's so funny. I didn't even plan the vacation. We have some wonderful friends, and she coordinates the vacations every year, and it just so happened to fall the week after. I was like, this is perfect timing.
I am not mad at you, girl. It's like, listen, I'm transmitting the last thing. Everything's done. Everybody, get your bags. Come on, girl, get your bag together because we are out of here.
Right. So yeah, perfect timing. But yeah, you definitely need to figure out some time to get away, break from your business. And it's really hard because I'm sitting
It's
here
hard.
and I'm passionate about, educating people. So whenever I get the opportunity, I'm like, yes, I have to do it. But it's hard, like, okay, having that daily routine. Let me get my work computer and start,
Yes.
and I'm like, shut it
Yes.
down.
And here's the thing, we know now technology has given us the opportunity where we can work anywhere in the world.
Right.
And sometimes I just say, you know what, I have some really good friends. Like my best friend lives in Tampa, and I'm like, I'm gonna just go down to Berkshire. I call her house Berkshire. It's like, I'm gonna go to Berkshire and just go sit out the pool and work. But it's just sometimes you're just on all the time. And here's the thing: I'm learning how to partition my work life. So at one point, I was just sitting behind the desk working 12, 13 hours a day, and only would get up to grab something out of the kitchen to eat and then come back down and sit at my desk and eat. And I had to stop because, if you don't, you're not going to be around for long. And so I get up now 3 days a week. As you know, Coach and I, we're both swimming. Coach, I think he's on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday schedule. I'm on the Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule. And, it's just like, and I cannot wait to go get in the pool. And it helps to clear my head. Sometimes when I have a lot on me, like this week, I have a lot of deadlines on me, but I just have to take that break to do that. And so, what do you do in this business to try to just kind of break up the work life and give yourself some self care?
So, it's funny that you asked that. I envious of you and Coach because I'm like, I love swimming, but I can't be dealing with my hair every day.
Listen, I don't need to deal with my hair every day, if you know what I mean, because I just thank God for the hair shop, the hair shop, right? I don't have to deal with this hair every week. I come in there looking fabulous, put on my swim cap, swim, and come back out looking fabulous. So,
Like, how does she do it?
baby, the hair. And you
Oh,
know
God.
what? If I had to do my hair all the time, I literally would not swim. I wouldn't work out. I wouldn't do anything. So I just keep it in a protective style, and it's just, and especially in the summer, it's just easy, girl. It's just
Right.
easy. But that's how I do it.
I get it. No, but some of the things that I do, it is funny because when I started working with Coach, he was always like the one thing. And I deemed myself as a serial entrepreneur before. And so I do have a creative side and I love what you do with your graphics and your company. I'm like, she really has a great eye for it. Because I do design, I do graphics, I do fun stuff, and that's my passion. I used to do event decorating, interior design, so I'm really good at that type of stuff. So now what I find is that I have became really involved with my church women's ministry,
Okay.
and every month we put on these fantastic elaborate events.
Nice.
I somehow, some way got involved with leading the decorating team and things like that. So that has really became my hobby. Like I don't get paid for it and I'm okay with it. I'm not looking for it, but it gives me the opportunity to still be able to do something I'm passionate about and really
Hmm.
serve the women and serve the kingdom, and be able to use my gift, and be creative. So I find myself, outside of work, involved with that pretty a few times a month. And
Hmm.
outside of that, I'll do stuff with the kids. They always have a project or whatnot. But and
Yeah.
cooking, that's a passion of mine as well. So
Oh,
between
wow.
both
Yeah.
and juggling, I think I I get enough hobbies.
Yeah, cooking is very therapeutic for me.
Yes,
Like
it
if
is.
I and cooking for myself, no. I just like, let me just get something together real quick so I can eat. But if I'm cooking for a purpose or I'm cooking for, an event, then I mean, I just love it. I'm very, very, it's very therapeutic when I'm chopping up stuff and when I'm having an opportunity to cook a large meal for my kids. I went to my son's house on Easter weekend, and I mean, Friday afternoon, I was at the grocery store with the grandkids, and we were buying up all the stuff that we needed to make. And then Saturday, we were baking, cutting up greens. I just love that. I was teaching my granddaughter how to roll greens and cut them and how to wash them and all those stuff. And she was enjoying it. And she said, Daddy, I cooked the greens. I was like, yes, you did, Mama. You cooked the greens. So, no, that is just so, so good that you can do that. Go ahead and shout your church out, girl,
Oh
in
yes.
your women's ministry. Go ahead and shout it out. What
Oh,
church you
yeah,
go
I love
to?
it. So yeah, so we go to Light of Joy Church. I go to Light of Joy Church, not we, but it's in Riverdale, Georgia, and the name
Okay.
of the women's ministry is called Joy Girl. And we have an event every third Saturday, and it typically starts at about 10 a.m. That's when doors open. We feed you. You can come get a nice meal. You get a
Wow.
message, but we really bring the word in through visualization and the environment. So we
It's
create
good.
elaborate environments to bring the message, and it's really fun. A lot of times we have Dr. Sherry Blake there, and we speak about things. So it's not like a church service, but it's more so just being in touch with yourself. And we talk about a lot of mental health issues, a lot of
Mhm.
self esteem issues, and just things that women face throughout our walk and our day to day things. So it's
Mhm.
really good. So you can come and join us. Look for me
Yes.
when you come.
I used to live in Riverdale.
Really?
I used to live off of Highway 85. Actually, both of my sons went to Riverdale High School. So one
What?
graduated from Riverdale High School, and then I took a job in Tampa. And so my youngest was 16, and we moved to Tampa. He graduated from Blake High School for performing arts in Tampa, but he started out at Riverdale High School. But my oldest son did graduate from Riverdale High, the Raiders,
Yeah, my
Riverdale
husband
Raiders.
actually went to Riverdale High School, so he's born in
Yes.
Atlanta, raised, but
Oh,
awesome.
yes. So I lived right in a subdivision right across the street from Riverdale High School and lived there for a long time. Lived there for a long time till I moved out. And actually, I moved to Tampa. But so that's girl, we have so much in
I
common. Like, this
know,
is
we
good.
do,
This
we
is so
do.
good. We've got Mindy out here, Mindy Gutzman out here. Hello, Mindy. How are you? GT Beard, girl, how you doing? Thanks for joining us out here. I'm talking to Alexis Sidney, and she is the CEO of the 12 firm. So let's talk. How do we get ourselves ready, girl, for the IRS next year?
Yeah.
Now, for those who may have because, you know, sometimes as a business owner, you're going to owe. You're going to owe. You're going to owe. And I owe. However, that's okay. I always set aside my funds and money because I know that that's going to happen. I try to prepare myself so that I won't owe like an arm or a leg, just maybe a fingernail, right? I don't mind giving up a fingernail, but I don't want to give up an arm and a leg to the IRS. So, how do we put ourselves together? What's the first thing after taxes have been filed? What's the first thing we should be doing to prepare ourselves for the next year and how we can keep our books clean? Because books have a tendency to be a little messy. And you've probably seen a lot of messy books. So help us out, girl.
Yes, I've seen messy books and I've seen no books at all. So,
Say, I've seen messy ones and I've seen books that didn't exist.
right, but
Wow.
it really depends on the person's situation. So we'll speak from an entrepreneur standpoint. Tax season is over, and what needs to occur now is that you really need to connect with a tax professional. If your tax professional does not specialize in tax planning, you should probably get with a accountant. Not to say they have to do your taxes, but just get with someone who can really do a tax assessment for you.
Hmm.
And what that is made up of is really looking at your big picture. You
Okay.
mentioned that the books may be messy. So some tax, accountants or tax strategists, whatever they call themselves, but the thing is, you want tax planning. So I always like to tell my business owners is that you should definitely have a quarterly assessment done. You should, in order to do that, you need clean financials. So you should be using an accounting system where you're reconciling month to month, whether you're doing it or you're paying a bookkeeper to do it for you. That needs to happen so that you can see where you stand for the quarter.
Hmm.
And based on that, you should be doing estimated tax payments based on your net, and there are other factors that you may consider. Everyone's situation is different. You may have a spouse who has a W 2 job and they're paying taxes in through the job. So, all of that kind of needs to be taken into consideration to give you that, I'm going to call it magical number. And from that point, you should get from that person that does the estimated assessment for you a voucher. And you should take that voucher and you should pay that money to the IRS every quarter. And I don't like to take a one step all approach for everyone because everyone's situation is different.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times I've heard people say, well, based on last year, I made $100,000 and I need to pay taxes on that $100,000. And that may work for some people. But some people's situations may change. For instance, you may be on that track, but let's just say you got blessed and you got this unexpected deal
Mm-hmm.
and it raised your income so much. Now, if you stuck with that $100,000 flat for the year, you're not taking it into consideration that now you're at 2,000. So that's
Mm-hmm.
100 extra $1,000 of revenue that you weren't going to pay taxes on.
Right.
So it's good to look at it per quarter so that you can make adjustments and shifts and pivots so where you're at so that you know where you stand once it becomes the end of the year. And with that, by paying those estimated tax payments, and when you go to file your taxes, you can put your little total credit like, yes, IRS, I paid you $10,000 in taxes for the year. It could be more. And you get credit for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then in turn, what happens is that if you're working with a good tax planner, you should know where you stand at the end of the year. So I like to say there shouldn't be any guesses. There shouldn't be, oh my gosh, I owe, and it's a surprise. Like, no, we knew you was gonna owe, or we know
Right.
you did not owe, you're gonna break even, or you're possibly gonna get a refund of X, Y, and Z amount of dollars. So all
Mm-hmm.
of that you can determine and figure out if you're working with the right people to help support that
Mm-hmm.
and giving you that tax planning perspective for you. So those are the things that need to happen. So I would definitely say right now for business owners, make sure your books are in order. Our firm offers cloud-based accounting solutions. There are other free services out there, but get something. I can't tell you how many times I see small business owners who just, I call it accounting for tax season only, and never mind the rest of the year. And it's like you're
Yeah.
leaving so much on the table. Like you can't operate like this. So get good financial practices, build those good habits. Start now because it's still the top of the year. We're not, too far in.
That's right.
But get that stuff going so you'll know your numbers. And with that, you'll be able to make, better business decisions because you know where your numbers are. Um, I I tell people also, I like to drive this point home a lot because it's so important. There are a lot of companies due to COVID right now that has happened. They're really, you know, giving money to the small business community. And it's not hard. It's not like going to a bank, a traditional bank, and it's like, okay, well, I need some money. And they want your arm, your leg, your mama's leg,
Absolutely.
your babies.
Then
They
they tell you no.
yeah, only to tell you no. There are companies out here now who are funding like a minimum of 25,000 to 50,000, and they're not requiring much of anything. It's so surprising to me to see some of the clients that I've helped support it, and I'm like, you got what? Wait, what? And
Right.
so it's out there. We just have to have a good system in place. You should be able to have real time numbers. You should be able to go to your system. If I say I want to give you $10,000 in 10 minutes, I just need your profit and loss and your balance sheet. You should be able to go into your system and press that button and send me the report back. So you want to get into that habit of doing that. You definitely, again, get with a tax professional who specializes in tax planning that can do an assessment for you and just kind of see what is available for you, what strategies out there are available for you. Are you maximizing on the deductions that you're claiming? What other
Mm-hmm.
ones can you claim? Because everything is different with your line of work. If you're working from home, are you maximizing on your home office deduction with
Right.
everything you're eligible for? So you want to start having those conversations to make sure that you're getting everything that you possibly can. For those small business owners who may have a W 2 job, You definitely want to look at that as well.
Hmm.
I often see a lot of times, not to put nobody business out there, I'm not gonna say no names,
Help
but
us, girl. Help us.
I see a lot of times where people have real full-time jobs and they make decent money, and it's like, well, I ain't got no taxes taken out because I got a business. And I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, wow. Wow.
It's just the perspective out there. It can be, a little crazy. But that's what I'm here for, is to educate and guide people in the right direction. But if you do have a W-2 job, you want to account that into what does that look like for your tax situation at the
Hmm.
end of the year, because you're adding money in. You may be having taxes withheld. You should. And how that plays so that you don't have a skewed view of
Hmm.
that. Also, you want to just looking at, depending on the income bracket you're in, you definitely want to make sure that one, you're paying the right amount of taxes being withheld, so you can get a W-2 assessment or W-4 assessment if needed. There's a few deductions depending on if you have kids. You
Hmm.
want to make sure that you're maximizing on those things if your job offers it. Depending on your income bracket, if you don't exceed the Roth contribution, you may want to look at some of those investment tools that may give you a tax savings or
Hmm.
whatnot. So there's just so much that you can look for right now. But it starts with the financials for a business, and
Yeah.
then going through that tax assessment to just see where you are right now,
Hmm.
have an overview of what has been going on, and just kind of get in the right direction with the tax planning assessment to see
Yes.
what else can you maximize on.
Sounds like this has been a recurring theme all month, which is take inventory of yourself. My guest last week, Mr. Robert Bricky, started talking about, know the numbers, own the numbers. So it's important to know where you are. And then for some people who are saying, I have a full time job, but I also am looking to jump over into entrepreneurship. I think that first and foremost, we ought to all have budgets, even if you don't have, like, you're not in business. You need to know what's going on. And so I wish I had used like a QuickBooks just for my personal finances so that I know where I'm spending my money. Because I think a lot of times, and it kind of spills over into business, sometimes you don't know where you are, and sometimes you don't know what you've spent and what you are spending. And as you know, we were on Clubhouse not long ago and they were talking about all the subscriptions. I know I have to at least once a quarter go back into my QuickBooks, which I personally, this is your anointing. Mhm. It is not mine. So I have a lady that I work with that helps me with my QuickBooks, and I'll be like, Maria, can you go in the books and look at it? Go, I don't want to look at it. I just don't. That's just not my thing. My thing is, you want me to create you something? Oh yeah, I can create you this. I can create you that. And she's like, I'll go look in the books. I'll look in the books. So she can go into QuickBooks and she can reconcile and she can do things and she'll say, okay, I got you set up so that I can take a P&L. And when I go to get my taxes done, my tax guy is like, you always come in here knowing exactly what you've spent. And I come in with my P&L for the year and I'll say, listen, I did this, and I did, and it's easy for him to be able to do that. Mindy said when you were talking, okay, first of all, my son is out here. Hello, my darling. Walter Williams is my son. He's out here. He says, hi, Lynette. Okay. Hello, Walter. GT Beard says, no books. Mindy said, I got a $6 refund this year. Girl, you got a refund. She said she got a $6 refund this year. I'm excited. And that's a question. I've heard different people get so super excited about having, oh, I'm gonna get 15,000 from the IRS. I'm getting this, I'm getting that. Should you be super excited that you're getting a refund from the IRS? Because that means that they've kind of used, is that, help us with that? Because it's like they've used your money. Is that how it works, girl? They've used your money all year. And then if you don't have the right deductions, then they like, okay, well, we're going to give you back this refund. And we're super excited about that. But should we be breaking even? Should we have to, oh, I mean, what's the theory of this as business people and just, regular tax folks?
Well, I always tell my clients that refunds are bad, but
I
there's a
heard that
caveat to
before. I know people like, when I get my refund, girl, we're going on vacation and we're going to buy. And they start spending the refund before refunds. Like, I'm going to count my refund. I get a refund and it's like, I'm rich. I used to feel that way. Like, I'm rich
yeah.
now. I just got this big check and I'm rich. So, but I've heard it's not good.
Yeah, well, it depends on the bracket you fall into. So I say for people who are in a lower income bracket, they get their refund is driven by the earned income credit and different things like that. They have kids, they're claiming they don't really have a lot of stuff going on. Then they can't help but to get a refund. So in that case, hey, refunds all day. But
Exactly.
when you get into more higher income brackets and businesses and just things to that nature, I have clients still, and they're like, I want my refund. And I'm like, wait a minute now. That's when I'm like, refunds are bad because you're paying in a lot of money, and a refund means that you've overpaid the IRS. So now they're going to give you your money back, and you could have used that money to invest and do other things, or just keep more in your pocket because you're going to
Correct.
break even. Um, just depending on what you're itemizing, if you're able to itemize what you have going on in your business. And so it's just a whole big picture. So I tell people like refunds can be bad when you get to a certain level. For
Mhm.
instance, I have a client, they have a great job, and this was a new client as well, and they got like a $20,000 refund. And I'm like, imagine like you could have kept $20,000, although
Right.
your paycheck would have been bigger week to week. You didn't have to pay that, and now you let them hold your money, and they're not going to give you the
Right.
interest that they made off of it.
No.
And then just imagine you could have took that money and did other things with it. So in that case, the refund is bad. But some people just, it's a mindset thing where it's like,
Yeah.
I just want a refund. And then I have some people that I've started working with this year, and I really had to have that conversation because it's like, well, what do you want to do to get the refund? You don't have, kids, you don't have, the things to create it. Like, where is it coming from?
Hmm.
And so you always, especially, this is a whole nother topic when you get into small businesses. A lot of people I've seen, just being a professional accountant throughout my years, they'll use their business to generate losses to get a refund.
Yes.
And it's the craziest thing ever because now you have a business for tax purposes, and it's not profitable. And it's like, how are you going to grow and scale with this
That's right.
nonprofit business year after year after year after year? People ask for your tax returns, and it's like, well, I'm not doing anything with you. I'm not giving you no car. I'm not giving you no house
Right.
because you're showing a loss.
You
So
show a loss.
it's really
And that's
crazy.
kind of like the catch 22,
Yeah.
because it's like, oh, I want to buy a house. I make the money to buy a house to qualify for a house. But I'm used to writing off all of this stuff so that I can pay less taxes or no taxes at all. So I'm showing a loss every year. But that is that like you said, that class, that bracket that you have to change, that mindset. Because if you do want to take and say, hey, I want to buy a car, and I have to show I'm to show my tax returns and said I didn't make anything. As a matter of fact, my business lost something. But so it is a position where you have to pay into more taxes, right? And or change that status, right? In order to be able to show that profit. Of course, you're going to have to pay more taxes on that. Break that down a little bit because I think that's a good point for business owners who are saying, I want to buy a new car, or I have to buy a new car for my business, or I want to start, or I want to buy a home. And how do I set my business up where I'm not bleeding out?
Definitely. So some of those things I often tell people, and you need to build a relationship with a accountant that can have those conversations with you. So it's important, especially if you are self-employed and you have a business and you don't have, no other W-2 income coming in, and you are the business and that's what you live by, that you
Right,
really need to build that relationship with a person that specializes in business taxes so you can have that conversation. Let them know, like, okay, these are my goals for this year. I want to buy a
got
new
it.
house
That's
and
good.
this is what I'm looking for. So that we know that at the top of the year, and we can plan that into your tax picture so that you won't be caught off guard. So it goes back to the conversation I had earlier that I started about the estimated tax payments. We know that, okay, let's just say you're buying a house and you're working with a lender or someone, and they've kind of ran the financials and give you a picture of, in order to qualify for this house, you need to show that you're making at least $60,000 per year
Right,
on your business. So, with that, let's just say we know that, and so it's like you can control what you write off. You can spend, you can make 100,000 in your business, and if you legitly had 100,000 in business expenses and they're supported and they are viable, the IRS can't necessarily say to you that we're not allowing you to write it off. You can, but do you want to do that if you're trying to get this house and you have to show 60,000? So you reverse engineer it, and it's not like it's
that's good.
necessarily fraud. You just don't want to write off your business expenses because you want to show the income. But
Right,
with that, you need to have a plan for the quarterly estimated tax payments so that, when it is time to file taxes, you're not going to owe on that 60,000 that you didn't pay no taxes on. So
right,
that's where it comes into play. So if you know, okay, at the end of the year, I'm going to have this amount of income. Every quarter, I need to pay X, Y, and Z amount of taxes. And so when I go file my taxes, I've paid the taxes in and I break even. I don't owe any money on that, and I get to go do what I need to do. Because on the flip side, if you don't pay the taxes, you're going to have a tax bill. And if
hmm
you're trying to get a house, 9 times out of 10, they're going to want to see a payment plan or going to want to see that you have cleared that balance up with the IRS before you get to the closing table.
wow.
And that could be an issue. It is like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. So,
And know I need to pay up before I came and did this, right? And that's just a
right.
lot.
Yeah. So you
Wow, you have really, really helped us a great deal. The time goes by so fast, but what I'm going to do is I'm getting ready to create, and I'll keep you posted on this, a panel of a finance panel of my powerhouses, you and Miss Carol and Alexa and Janelle and Robert, and just kind of have you come back and really help us try to prepare ourselves. So I think our takeaway from this is to get with a great tax professional. And you can go to the12firm.com and go see Miss Beautiful Alexa Sidney and all the ladies. So please go out there and check her website out. I'm scrolling it at the bottom of the screen so that you can connect with her. And it's never too late to start setting yourself up properly for the next tax season. I mean, we know we've just closed out 2021, but set ourselves up properly for 2022 so we don't have to be, biting our nails and going through a whole bunch of stuff. And talk to a professional if you are. I love the fact that you said, you should have goals, tax goals together. So, hey, this year I want to buy a house. What do I need to do to put myself in position? My business car is about to, I need to replace that. Or I have a fleet of trucks and I need to do that. But you do other things too. You do, tell us real quickly what other things you do in your service besides taxes.
So yes, besides taxes, we do offer full service accounting for small businesses. So we help them get set up. If it's something they want us to manage, we will. If it's something they just want to kind of get a consultation on to get set up and get started, and have that quarterly check-in or annual check-in, whatever. We, work with businesses. The important part is just getting it set up. We also do advisory services where we do financial advisory. We offer insurance as well. We're licensed in that area where we can help you get set up, get the
Just
right
the
insurance that
boss.
you
Just the
need.
boss. Just the boss.
We also do as well small business setup, helping you get formatted the right way and helping you select the right tax strategy and this entity, so that you can have that in place. And then my favorite is helping people solve IRS problems. So if you get one of them nasty gram letters from the IRS, it's like, I owe what? We help support people through that. We are licensed to practice before the IRS, so we can represent you with the
That's
IRS, almost
beautiful.
like going to court for you with the IRS and fight on your behalf. We navigate people through those situations as well. So those are most of the services that we provide. As well, we help people navigate through business funding and finance, as well, to get startup funds or just different things like that. They need capital to help scale and grow their business.
Wow. Well, Speak Out Loud audience, we are talking to the fabulous, the beautiful Alexis Sidney of the 12 firm. And she is on vacation now, but listen, she loved us just that much to come off vacation for a few minutes and come and talk to us about putting ourselves in our tax brackets correctly. Alexis, thank you so much for joining us today and speaking out loud about what you do. If you guys are interested in having her firm to just do a consultation, just do an inventory, just do a checkup in your finances, go to the12firm.com. Alexis, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure to be here and just enjoy connecting with you as well. So
I
thank you.
know. So listen, you let me know when you're going to be up in my area, in the Norcross area, and I want to go out and buy you some lunch because what you've done today has been a blessing to me. And plus, girl, we're right here in the same city. We need to talk.
Oh, right.
And I've got family that still lives in Riverdale, and I'm over in that south side of town. My son lives in Hampton, so I could stop on in on that side of town and check you out.
I live in Hampton, so yes, you need to.
Oh my God. I was just in Hampton last weekend. So, all right. So that's a bet. I'm going to come check you out. Thanks so much for being with us today and blessing our audience.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining another edition of Speak Out Loud, the story behind the brand. We just had Alexis Sidney from the 12 firm. And she has really blessed us today and helped us with all things IRS. I'm super excited that she was able to join us today and to really, really help us prepare ourselves for next week. It's for next year. Just wanted to quickly say that we are now airing on KBN TV. Oh, let's say that 4 times. But you can just download it on the Roku app and start watching us. This show is going to be aired in probably a couple weeks over there. So if you missed this, you can check it out on the replay. All right, guys, until next week, remember, God loves you. I love you. But most importantly, learn to love yourself. Bye for now.
You've been watching Speak Out Loud, the story behind the brand with your host, Lynette Jackson. Please like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. And until next week, don't forget to use your voice to speak out loud.